Starting your own practice is hard for many chiropractors. It's riddled with both struggles and successes. But here at the Chiropractic Philanthropist, we make it easy by having chiropreneurs and entrepreneurs share their struggles and lessons learned in life and business so that you don't have to make the same mistakes. And now here's your host, Dr. Ed Osborne.
Chirothin is more than just weight loss. It fits perfectly into the chiropractic paradigm of health. If you are wanting your patients to experience maximum benefits of chiropractic, longer stabilization, and a reduction in their physical, chemical, and emotional stress, weight loss and Chirothin is what you are looking for. As an added benefit, it can add hundreds of thousands of dollars and a ton of chiropractic patients to your office. To get more information or to test Chirothin in your office today, go to chirothin.com and click on the pricing tab. All right, TCP listeners, I have an incredible guest today, and that is actually Billy D. Billy D, how you doing today?
I could not be any better. I'm talking to you, Dr. Ed. So how are you doing?
I'm doing amazing, man. Like, it's been a while since we've chatted. I know that we interviewed you probably years ago for this podcast. And then, but a lot has changed. And then I think I was interviewed on your podcast. That was probably about 2 years ago or something like that too. But I'm going to have a little bit of a different conversation. I'm going to lead you through the conversation today because most of the listeners, I'm thinking, already know who you are or think they know who you are. So number one, tell us like an interesting fact that nobody knows about you.
I like cats.
Okay. I think I would have guessed that.
No, that's a tough, that's like, I've never had a hard question like that. I know. I was thinking this on the way here that there's one problem with surfing that I have. It makes you late to a lot of shit and miss things. And the other day I was supposed to do a podcast with somebody and I was surfing and I just lost total track of the time. It makes you late to family events. And so it's like, I was thinking in the water today, I think chiropractic's my way of supporting my addiction, which happens to be surfing, but I mean, I love chiropractic too. I mean, obviously I'm in the trench every day.
Yeah.
And then, we're with CalJam, we're trying to even take it to the next level. So I don't know if that's, I can't think of anything else.
I'll take the cats. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I love cats. I love animals, but I have cats. I had cats, but I got one cat left. So
that is an interesting and probably an unknown fact. So thank you for that. Otherwise, most people will know your bio and your history. But let me go there. I mean, you said it yourself. You're in the trenches. Like,
right? Why?
Why are you still in practice when so many people do other things and then they go, hey, that's my way out, or exit?
I really love it, man. I mean, it's for me, I love connecting. I'm a people person. I mean, I didn't grow up in the computer age, and, I just love to be around people, and I love kids, and, half my practice is kids. I mean, I just come in here and I just heckle people all day, but I also love teaching and I love speaking in front of people. And for me, it's a chance for me to just really just celebrate life with people in my practice. And I consider it it's like my family, it's so I get to hang out with my family every day and tell the story. And I mean, I can't think what else I would do. I mean, I need to write a book. I know that. I would like to work on some music, and that's in the works. And I was thinking this today too, and I've been thinking it for a while, that I might just start working afternoons only, like do 3 to 7, like Monday through Thursday. I mean, I work Monday through Thursday now, but I work Monday and Wednesday morning. So I'll probably cut back a little bit, but I always want to have my hands in the game. I mean, I just love it too much. I don't see how I could ever give that up. You know what I'm saying?
One of the things that connects us here too, on this podcast and as chiropractors is resistance, struggle. Has there been any resistance, any struggle, any challenges in particular that you've experienced, like whether it be in business, CalJam, personally, that you would like to share? And I'm going to pull it out of you. So like that you would like to share.
where do I friggin' start, bro?
But then, wait. And then the
Oh.
lesson, what did you take? Like, what was the lesson and the gift in it, Billy?
All right. So one of the things that when you asked me the cat question or the question, I want to say that I was an alcoholic because I don't feel like I'm still an alcoholic. I had issues with alcohol, and that was probably just because of it was part of it. I mean, we grew up with it. I was my first birthday. I had I was sitting at my high chair drinking a Schlitz, which is a beer. And then I used to drink. I was drinking beer before I could say beer, and it wasn't because my parents were bad parents, or it was more my grandmother actually. And it was just because they didn't realize that it's an addictive, highly destructive substance. And, and it was always socially accepted. And I was also a very functional alcoholic. And I mean, the reason I say this, because a lot of times people come up to me and they ask me what I did to get sober. And I like to help people with that aspect. So that was one of the things I was thinking about in the back of my head, but I don't like to throw that out. And, I don't want any pity. I don't want any, oh, that's great. I mean, I'm just saying that's one of the things that I struggled with, because when you have an addiction, which alcohol is probably one of the worst drugs on the planet. I'm going to tell you that right now. Right, it's probably right behind heroin, because it's socially accepted, but it's a drug, and it was one of those things where I would be in this literal prison that I felt miserable when I wasn't drinking, and I felt even more miserable when I was. And when I got to that point with it, I knew I had to stop, but stopping wasn't one of those things that was just like, okay, I'm just going to stop. It was like I didn't stop till I was probably 49 or 50, which was about 10 years ago. And literally I detoxed at home, and I was up for 3 days going through. I should have been hospitalized is what it was. But I did. And I was going through the sweats, and I had the DTs, which are the tremors, delirium tremors. I was hallucinating. It was like the frigging gnarliest thing that you can even, and from that day, I learned how gnarly that drug was. And from there, like people go, is it hard for you to stay sober? It's just, I think about those 3 days, it was literally, dude, it was like I was going through literal living hell. It was the biggest, the worst nightmare you could ever express, for literally 24 times 3, whatever that is, 72 hours of just pure, and then I almost got to the end of the 72s, and I almost caved in, and I just called this dude that was an AA friend of mine, and I called him, and he just came and he saved my life, dude. And I told that story at CalJam one year because I wanted to really give gratitude for him for what he did, because when you're putting on a friggin' big show and you got to practice and all the shit that we do and keeping your life together, it was great to just be able to quiet that with alcohol, but then it didn't work anymore. It was working against me. And so when I pulled out I had this clarity of just, and colors became more vivid, and I could smell again. It was just because I'd been so numbed by that drug that, people don't understand it if they've never really had issues with any type of substance. But again, so like I was out to dinner the other night. I was like, you could have a glass of wine, and I go, no, I can't. You don't understand, because I thought I could. I had a little slip when I was in Australia, and I was back right on it again. But again, it didn't take me that. It wasn't hard for me to detox. But so that was what I really wanted to tell you when I answered with the cat story. So.
No, I hear you. And the reason I kind of chuckle is it's like, I remember sitting with you in New Jersey, and you're like, hey, what are you doing? Or what did you have? And I had a whiskey. I'm like, hey, can I grab you one? Now I'm kind of going, oh shit. I wish I had done that.
I don't even worry about it. I mean, it's when people keep oh, come on. They don't understand,
Yeah, no.
And, I'm a big boy now, I can handle that kind of stuff. Sure. When I'm at a table and everybody's having a nice glass of red wine, I always go, shit, it'd be nice to have some wine, but it's not worth it anymore,
No.
And I've got to a point where I am a wateraholic now,
Yes.
There's other things that I endeavor into, which help me cope. I'm a big fan of cannabis, which you already know. And, again, that's never taken me to dark places. I've never ever felt like I was like I had to have, like there was times when I got done with work, I had to have a drink. I don't feel that way. I never have felt that way. And maybe some people have problems and issues with that. People have problems and issues with sugar, or so again, whatever your skeleton is in your or whatever your dragon is in your life, we've all got things that,
exactly,
pull us one direction or the other.
Yeah. So. Well, and our motto really is on the Chiropractic Philanthropist is that we're all more alike than we are different. We've all experienced like shit. Like we've all eaten the shit sandwich. Like it happens. But here's the thing is that it also gives contrast to how good life can be.
Oh, dude.
It's like, exactly. Yeah. I mean, if you hadn't been in that pit, if you hadn't been in that dark place, you would never have the great appreciation that you have for life right now. The good.
Cold, foggy, dark, horrible, like cave, and I had chains on, and it was like, I would always say this to myself. I don't know if I've told a lot of people this. I can't get there from here. I would want to get to this place where I felt that comfortably numb, but I could never get there anymore. And whatever I did would never allow, like if I stopped drinking, I couldn't get there. If I drank, I couldn't get there. And it was like I was in this perpetual hell. And it was just, I knew, and people came to me and they knew I had issues, and thank God Jane stuck with me through all that. But it was, yeah. So I'm always there for people that have issues. Like, in fact, I spoke at a seminar. I think you were there too. We speak at so many seminars, I can't keep track. But somebody came up to me after I'd mentioned that from the stage, and we went and had dinner and we chatted, and now we communicate. So I do that all the time. There's a lot of people that have done that for, because I mean, I know what they're going through, and I kind of give them some direction. I can't be their, the AA dude for them, or, but I give them what I did. So.
And I mean, and for the listeners, I mean, it's really just about the resistance and the struggle and being able to overcome, right? I mean, we all experience this. And, for you, you've been on like a holy cause, man. Like you're on a mission. You're like, I see you're just obsessed with CalJam. So tell us a little bit about CalJam. What is the deep why behind that? Why do you work so hard? And why do you want this to be the biggest chiropractic and most impactful chiropractic event in the world?
Well, and that's one of the struggles too, is that you get resistance from your own profession, because there's a lot of people that don't think the same way I think. I'm fully 100% ADIO. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, we got chiropractors that still vaccinate their kids. I mean, I don't know what the fuck they're thinking, because I've just read 3 books in the past month. I read Moth in the Iron Lung. I read Vaccines, Autoimmunity, and the Changing Nature of Childhood Illness. And then I just got J.B. Handley's book, How to End Autism. If you read those books and you still are stupid enough to vaccinate your kids, you're hopeless, because those books there's all these different issues. I mean, I get it. I love chiropractic. I'm a straight chiropractor in my practice, but there's 3 T's. There's the traumas, there's the thoughts, but there's also toxicity. And if you're just poisoning your kids, and then you're just like, I was poisoning myself with alcohol. I mean, I can adjust my Atlas all day long, but I'm still going to kill myself on alcohol if I don't get off of it. So again, a chiropractic adjustment's great, but also it needs purity. It needs food. It needs exercise. It needs to be grounded. It needs proper sleep and rest. So what CalJam was, a kind of a accumulation of everything that's really drives me to get people to see the big idea. And the big idea is bigger than just chiropractic, because, as I always say, we need a planet to practice this beautiful art on. And there's no planet B. People want to think that we can just trash this planet and not respect Mother Earth. And again, I'm 60, dude. I mean, if you don't give a shit, I don't have kids, dude. That's why I have cats. I don't have to worry about that shit. But if you don't give a shit about the planet that your kids are going to live on, and your grandkids, then go watch football, go do whatever stuff, you go back to your distractions. But CalJam is a movement to create a global awakening and a change in consciousness to change the direction of really where we're headed towards a new world order, future enslavement. People are not to a more socialistic state where people have zero freedom. They have they're not allowed any expression of creativity or self-thought it's just, it's the writing is on the wall. I mean, when I was on vacation in Mexico, so that's what I need to do a lot to really detach and get away from social media and get away from, and I go just bathe myself in the bliss of surfing and not having any responsibility. But, you know, I read Huxley's book again, Brave New World, and those books are so they're so prophetic with everything in there. It's like this whole bill they're trying to push in California, where you know you're not going to be able to talk anything against vaccines or anything unless you have research. I got plenty of research, and I've said this so many times. Put Dick Pan up or any of your pro-vax zealots, and I would love to have a debate with them, and I would just nail them to the friggin' cross, because the truth will crush the lie every day, dude, because there's nothing that there are just that whole camp, that whole medical outside in camp is over, but it just keeps getting propped up by the media and the fake news and the fake science and all the crap. And my big goal with CalJam is to expose the lies, prove to people that chiropractic is the most beautiful art on the planet, which really every person that wants to live at a higher expression of themselves, everybody needs a chiropractor, just like everybody needs a dentist. And again, I don't get adjusted because I have back pain or neck pain. I get adjusted because I want to function at a higher level of consciousness. And you can't do that when you're subluxated. I mean, just read Heidi's book, listen to any of friggin' Minardi's stuff or Murphy's stuff or Chestnut. I mean, that's what I do. We go around the country and we're at seminars, and I was at Mike Reed's thing, and Minardi did an amazing job there. I mean, that's how I get fueled up. I listen to all these guys give me the certainty so that I don't have any apprehension when I say, you know, you're friggin' wrong, bro. I mean, I know I'm right on what I'm talking. I know I'm right about geoengineering, whether people want to call it conspiracy. I know I'm right about the whole agenda to really destabilize and destroy the United States of America. I know those things are all in the works. So again, and I read a lot of John Rappaport's stuff, and he's just like, he gives me clarity on just things I know are happening, but it's good to have other people have the same kind of view on what's going on. And it's good to align yourself with people. And that's what CalJam is. It's people that get it, that see reality and aren't clouded to just this fake world that we're living in, this utopia that we're living in. It could crush any minute, you know? And I don't want to be like a pessimist. I'm very optimistic, or I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing.
Well, this year, so in February, next year, in February,
2019.
Yeah. Or I should say, who is the person that you're most looking forward to hearing from on stage?
Well, I always love Dell. Dell Bigtree is my biggest. Okay. And I just had a conference call today with Dave Asprey and getting him to speak at CalJam. I love Dave Asprey. He's got a new book coming out in December. Robert F. Kennedy's probably going to come back, be discussing the effects of GMO on the planet. Which, I mean, again, it's just like the whole thing with the polio thing. Polio wasn't caused by it was caused by we sprayed DDT all over the place. You can't just spray frigging poison on the planet and expect the biosphere to be able to survive this shit, especially human life. If it kills an insect, it's going to kill cells in your body. It's that simple, you know. Who else am I? I mean, Devin Verana's great. Nuraka's great. I can't ever say her name. She used to be with Tony Robbins. Jeez, I had a senior moment there. I'm also trying to think about the other speakers on. Hugo Gibson, who's been in practice for probably 75 years old. Schofield. Wow. Who else is going to be on the lineup? I mean, I can't even think. Brad Glowacki, Guy Reekman. I mean, I'm really excited to be affiliated with and working with Life University. I really want to pump up the schools that still teach the philosophy rather than keep turning out students that have no faith in chiropractic and never even heard the philosophy. They're all just evidence-based. And again, I like science, but let's go over science that supports the philosophy. I mean, again, we can like really objectively measure about 4% of what's going on in the cosmic world in the in the quantum world. And again, there's 96% that we'll never, ever be able to measure, ascertain, because we don't have the capacity to do that. So what are we going to base it on, the 4% that we know, when there's 96% out there that, again, I know what I do works in my practice. After 36 years or 33 years in the trench, you see the same results over and over and over and over. You just know the shit works.
I got to tell you, like, after speaking to some of the docs when I was in New Jersey, and I had a really great time there. And I rarely go to the conferences, seminars. Everyone's like, look, you got to go to CalJam. And so I'm like, okay, I'll put it on my schedule. And my team notified me. And they're like, oh, you're already committed to Funnel Hacking Live. And I guess it's in Tennessee the same week. And I'm like, well, I think
What is it?
Funnel Hacking Live with Russell Brunson. It's part of, like, he's also.
Oh, that sounds like a big gig. Russell's a big dude, right?
Yeah, he's also my mentor, right? So, but actually, no, but honestly, like, I'm pretty sure, I'm almost 100% sure I'm going to cancel on Funnel Hacking Live, because I got to go to CalJam. I mean, I've never experienced it. I have to be there and just experience it, at least, on the recommendations of everyone I've spoke to. So, and I would recommend for anyone who's a listener right now that has not booked a ticket, has not made the move, or are considering going again, to get their ticket too. And I'd be happy to run into them and have a chat if I'm there.
Yeah, it's just like a gathering, dude. It's a party. I mean, that's one thing I'm good at, is throwing parties. I mean, that's
awesome.
I'm good at golf, but I'm good at throwing parties.
And so, listeners, you can actually head over to thechiropracticphilanthropist.com. We'll have a webpage dedicated to our discussion with Billy D today. We're also going to have a link where you can actually head over to caljam.org, and we're going to give you a code. So you actually get a ticket that is, instead of $427, it's $350. And all you have to use is my code. The coupon code is Dr. Ed. So it's spelled DRED, DRED.
Yeah, cool.
I know, it's dude, I'm like hardcore dread. So that's all you got to put that in, and then they'll know that you listen through the Chiropractic Philanthropist and you're a follower, and you'll get your discount, and hopefully we'll see you there. I'm going to ask you for I got 2 more questions. You ready?
Dude, I'm so ready.
Okay. So we're going to put you actually into what we call the TCP time machine. So it's kind of cheesy, but we're going to send you back to a younger version of yourself. This is right after you came out of chiropractic college. Okay, you have all the knowledge and life experience that you have today. What would you say to your younger self, Billy D?
Never doubt yourself in chiropractic, and also stand firm on your values. And, one of the things I've really enjoyed about being older and knowing what I know is don't take shit from people. And if they don't feel like they fit in your practice, don't accept them in your practice. I mean, don't just accept everybody. I mean, it's so rewarding I don't want to be a dick to people, but sometimes it's nice to just, it's not a good relationship is what I'm saying. And there's a lot of times people come in, like I had a guy yesterday that I don't want to work with him. It's not that I don't like him or I don't want him to get better. It's just, it won't work, and you can feel that right up front when somebody comes in and they act like they own you, or like, I need them. I don't need you, bro. I mean, I'm quite busy without you, and you can go out there and see all those tables that are full with people on them. If you want to be a patient here, you're going to do what I ask you to do. And if you don't want to read the pamphlets, you don't want to, because you need to understand your problem. So, I mean, I've got 100%. I wish I had the certainty, when I first got out of school. When I got out of school, I went to a school that wasn't really good about philosophy or pediatrics. And I didn't get it till I went to DE. So that's what I would say to the younger students. Own it. Never doubt it.
All right. So actually, I'm going to ask you 3 questions. So what changed to DE? What was that moment that clicked for you?
That there's a cause to people's problems. You don't just get sick. So that's the philosophy of cause. I can't, it wasn't
the keys.
So it was the keys. Yeah, I got that. I mean, I was total Sid head, but it was Fred Bars that one I really connected with. I mean, I just loved his eloquence. He rocked it. He dressed hard. He was just the shit, bro. And when he spoke specific. I sit in the front row, dude, and it was just like I connected with that dude. And then I also connected with Fred Schofield, who became a huge influence on me as well. He's the one that really allowed me to be myself. It was okay to be who you know, I was trying to be the guy in the white coat and it didn't fit right, you know, but I took the white coat off and realized that, you know, it's okay to be who I am and express what I feel and give people, give them the real me, you know, rather than trying to be the chameleon, which I wasn't very good at to begin with. And people kept seeing that, you know, it was like, why don't you just be you? Why are you trying to be like Joe MD? You know, I tried to be like a pseudo medical doctor, but I didn't know any better because I didn't know the philosophy. I basically came out of school of medipractor, and it's okay if that's what you want to do. But I mean, there's so much more you can do when you're really a chiropractor in this profession. And again, as soon as I learned I could see kids, I go, I can relate to kids much more than I can adults for some reason, because they still have that childlike kind of love for life. Whereas I think adults get jaded and they get bitter and they get beat up. Kids still have some love, and some kids are beat up too, but usually if you give them love, you can get them to, it's good. It's easier to resuscitate kids than it is adults.
Yeah. Kids are curious still.
Yeah, man.
You know? So I mean, I think we could all use a little more curiosity in our lives and approach things with curiosity, and then life would be a lot more fun too. But I love this. I'm just going to pull from this for all the listeners, is that it's okay to be who you are.
Yeah.
I mean, if there was one thing I learned about, even in just online business, marketing, whatever it is, I mean, what doesn't bear fruit is trying to be something that you're not. The best marketing you can ever do is market you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and you are you. You're your perfect example of it. You know, I mean, some people go, dude, you got tattoos or you got this big beard or whatever. It's just like, that's you, man, you know? Yeah. And I'm the same way. I mean, I dress up when I need to dress up, but a lot of times I'm just the surf bum that I really am. I mean, I'm a surf addict with a chiropractic career to support my habit. That's basically what I do, you know, and I don't have any qualms about it anymore. At 60, I don't really give a shit what people think. I always come back to Jack Nicholson's quote, I am who I am. Your approval's not necessary. It's just, when you get to that point in your life, it makes things a lot easier. You're not trying to please everybody. And it makes it just simple. Just go be you. Don't have to be a chameleon, you know?
Yeah, clearly that's working for you too. So last question then is a resource. So I know you've already dropped a bunch of resources, and everyone who's listening, we're going to have links. We're going to have all the resources and books you've actually mentioned inside of the show notes. However, if you said, look, there's this one chiropractic, I'm going to pull out chiropractic, one chiropractic book that you have to read. What is
Cause, One Cure.
One Cause, One Cure?
Fred Barge.
That's it.
And then second would be Life Without Fear, Fred Barge. I mean, you know, I like the green books, but Fred always made it a little easier for me to understand.
Yeah.
Really kind of, he gave a synopsis of, like, you'd see these big tomes that BJ would, and a lot of it was just run on sentences. What Fred did would take that and consolidate it and put it in a thinner book and make it more understandable for me. Again, I'm really kind of like, I'm author specific. I like certain authors that feed my brain the right way, and they have a certain palette to it. You know what I'm saying? A certain way of using language and artistically using words. And it's like music. You're not going to like everybody's music, but there's certain, like, I love Michael Pollan's style of writing. I love Thomas Cowan's, that book I mentioned about the vaccines.
Yeah.
I love the book. Here's a good book for recreational reading is, Scar Tissue by Anthony Kiedis. That's a great book.
Get out.
Have you read that?
No, I got to look that up.
No, that's the best book you'll ever read. I don't know. It's like a book that you, like, when you have 5 minutes to go, where's that book? It's like you get, the worst thing about that book is when you finish, you go, I'm done. I can't read it.
I'm a huge,
and everybody I recommend that book to goes, that was the best book I've ever read.
I'm
talking about struggles. Read that book.
I'm a huge fan of Anthony Kiedis. So this is,
you haven't read that yet?
No, I haven't.
Oh, dude, you're gonna call me. You're gonna thank me after you read that book. I picked it up. I was up in Mammoth when I just bought the book, and I would read it, and I would be reading chapter, and I go, shit, I'm gonna read one more chapter. I would stay up. One night I was up till 4:30 in the morning. It's so addictive. You can't put it down. It's just like you get this, like, energy from reading it.
Outstanding. Yeah. Okay. Listeners, we're actually going to have lists again of all the resources. all the links. And yeah, we're going to have our code. Again, don't forget the coupon code is going to be Dr. Ed or Dread. So you can actually get your ticket. Pretty sure I'm going to be there too. So if I'm there, you're going to have to come up and say hello. I'll be milling around. Yeah, Billy D, I got to tell you, I mean, again, this is this is the third time we've had a conversation in probably the last 2 or 3 years, but you always bring the fire, man. I got to appreciate you bringing the fire to the TCB podcast today. So thank you.
I love it. As you can tell, this is not like I'm acting right now. So I'm going to go back surfing now. I just came in to shoot this and back out in the water now.
So you've heard the struggles, you've heard the successes, and this episode is done. But there's still so much more to come and so much more to learn. Head on over to the chiropracticphilanthropist.com and sign up for our newsletter, where you'll receive free practice building tips and strategies, including how to market your practice with your very own podcast and so much more. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on the Chiropractic Philanthropist.